Well, hello everybody. I am glad that you're watching the second video. Today, if you were in my morning class, you were able to hear a little trick we have with any number when we're multiplying. If we multiply two numbers and one of them has zeros or even both, there's a trick we can do. If you remember it, you're awesome. But let's review it together. Okay. So, here is my rule for multiplying by zeros or by zero. Okay. Anytime there is a zero or more than one zero in one of the numbers, in one or both of the numbers you multiply, you get to add that to the product. Add them, add the zeros to the product. If you watched my last video, you remember what the product is. I just explained that the product is when we had, I said 5 times 3 equals 15. Product simply means the answer. So if my rule for multiplying by zero, if we apply it to this example that I gave in the last video of 5 times 3, well, let's just think, what if it was 50 times 3? Let's read the rule again. It says, anytime there is a zero in one or both of the numbers you are multiplying, oops, sorry guys, I didn't write the whole word multiplying, add the zeros to the product. Okay, so we're first going to do the simple problem of 5 times 3, and that's 15, just like we know above. Following my rule, though, is how many zeros do you count? Just one? Great, add it to the end. We could see it like this. This is called a horizontal problem, or we might see it like this. And this is called a vertical problem. It's going up, kind of like if you put your arm up in the air. Let me show you. I always like to think of it like this. My math teacher taught me this. She said, put your arm in the air, and she said, tickle your arm. That's vertical. Do you see how it's up in the air and I'm tickling? My arm is now vertical, straight up and down, vertical. Okay. See how we can put it like this? Well, I know the simple 3 and 5. I know what 3 times 5 is, and that's 15. But don't forget, if there's a zero included, I get to add that zero to the end. So the answer becomes 150. Pretty cool. Whoopsie. Let me do something. Like how that little guy stayed behind. Let's erase him. Goodbye. Okay, now let's see if we can figure out this pattern. What about this? What if I said this time 6 times 8 equals what? Well, 6 times 8, here's a little rhyme I taught my kids last year, and I heard it, I think, when I was your age. 6 and 8 went on a date. They sat at table 48. So 6 times 8 is 48. Oops. Okay, 6 times 8 is 48. Well, let's say that it's now 60 times 8. Well, you know the simple problem of 6 times 8, and that's 48. How many zeros do you count? There's just one. By the way, the secret word is magic. Okay, so we added 1 zero to the end because there was only 1 zero in our problem. See if you can do this. I'm going to take a pause, and I'm going to see if you can do the next one. If you said, well, I know 6 times 8 is 48. All I need to do is add 2 zeros to the end because I count 2. You're right. Do you see a pattern? What if I do 6,000 this time? 6,000 times 8. Well, we know this simple. 6 times 8 is 48. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Look at this. Look what's happening. Isn't that cool? I have 1 0 here, 2 zeros here, and 3 zeros here. That looks like a smiley face. Okay, so we now know our simple rule. Let's make sure that we understand how we would do this if, hold still, if it's written vertically. Remember, vertically is up and down. So if I write 8 times 6 is 48. What if I do 80 times 6? Well, you know 6 times 8, 6 and 8 went on a date. They sat at table, 48. There's 48. How many zeros do you count at the end? Just one. You add it to the end and it becomes part of your product. There's 1 0 in my product because there was only 1 0 inside of my problem. So my answer is 480. Well, now what happens if it's 800 times 6? Do you see how if we're doing it vertically and horizontally, it's no different? 8 times 6 is 48. How many zeros? 2. These are all the same answers I just got before. This is just written, let's write the word vertically. And this right here, let's do 60 times 8 equals 480. That is written horizontally. Kind of like the horizon. If you look out at the sun and the sun comes up over the horizon, maybe you've heard someone talk, oh, look at the horizon. It's got a beautiful sunset. You're just looking far off. It's like the flat part. Vertical, horizontal. And you'll see the problems both ways. Guys, thanks for watching. That's the end of our video.